Kirk Cousins, baby. Last 4 games, Kirk Cousins has thrown 8 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. You look at the last game, they played the Vikings last Sunday, and we lost 21-42. Sam Darnold had his best game of the season. He only had 6 incompletions, going 22 for 28, going for 347 yards and 5 touchdowns. 3 of those went to Addison, 2 of those went to Jefferson. Kirk Cousins, on the other hand, had 23 completions off of 37 passes, 344 yards, which is a lot of yards, but 2 interceptions. And those 2 interceptions cost points. It put the Vikings in position to score on us, man. Bijan and Algier kept us in the game, but the running game, that's the only thing that looked good on the offensive side. The passing, we was terrible. You feel what I'm saying? A lot of the points, a lot of the yards you see were garbage yards. Kurt had a terrible game. And shout out for Mooney for getting what he could get for 6 catches, 142. Addison had a big game. Jefferson had his breakout game. No, Jefferson had scored a touchdown since October. And I shouldn't be surprised though, because he usually have good games against the Falcons anyway. So I'm really not surprised. He played the Falcons very well. So I'm not surprised that he went off. So congratulations to him. But yeah, man, the Falcons have a real problem right now that I don't know if they can really fix, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, you paid Kirk Cousins, you gave him 4 years for $180 million. And this year alone, he's making $50 million. So it's not really much you can really do, because if you bench him, you got a dude that you're paying $50 million this year just to sit on the bench for free and make free money. To me, you got to get your money's worth. So to see Kirk Cousins in this position and see everybody wanting Michael Penix Jr. to start is cool and all, but at the same time, you got to realize that they're paying this man a lot of money. So this is really a business. So you can't sit Kirk Cousins. You have to let him stay and have to let him play it out. That's what I would do. Now, there's been reports before we was even looking bad that they were going to trade Kirk. And he said he wants to go to a contender. But at the end of the day, the Falcons don't owe him nothing because we already paid him. So we don't owe him that to trade him to a good team. He owe us to at least make it to the playoffs. Then we might think about trading him. But for us to just trade him to a good team or a contender, I think that's wrong, though, because what has he done? We held up our end of the bargain. You got to hold up yours. And he hasn't done that at all, in my humble opinion. So for Kurt, I think if he don't lead us to the playoffs, then it don't matter what team we trade him to. We trade him to the Giants, oh well. We trade him to Carolina, oh well. We trade him to whatever. Even if he got to go somewhere, he a backup, but he's still making $50 million. It is what it is, though. But he can't stay. He can't say, "Oh, I'm not going nowhere unless it's a contender." When he leads the league in interceptions, he has 15 interceptions. Last 4 games, 8 picks. We're talking about a 4-game pick against the Chargers, and we could have won that game. The Falcons right now should at least be 8-5 right now, but we're looking at 7-6 and 7. And now we're behind the Bucs, who we swept in the conference. And they have the easiest remaining schedule in the whole NFL. They play the Chargers next week. But even if they beat the Chargers, if they win or lose to the Chargers, they can still win out. Because I think they play the Saints, who Derek Carr right now is on injured reserve. And then they play Carolina, who they beat who they could beat again. So to me, it don't really matter, bro. So how I look at it is you play Kirk Cousins out. And you got to see what it works. You can't bench him because at the end of the day, you're paying him $50 million. We have never seen, no team in history will sit a quarterback making $50 million. That's not doing that. Now, if the Falcons were 3-10 and paying him $50 million, then they'll probably bench him. But right now, how it's looking, you can't do that, bro. Because at the end of the day, you know you're paying him a lot of money. And you can't sit here, and say, oh, we're going to bench him. Now, as a fan, would I want them to bench him? Yes. But you can't bench him, though. You gotta just see it through. And hopefully he can go on a 4-game winning streak and you can end the season off 10-7. That's your best bet right now, that he could bounce back, have these last 4 games, he can bounce back, play strong, end the season off well, win out. We can go and hopefully the Chargers are one of the last 4 teams that the Bucs play. Hopefully they can upset the Bucs, because if us and the Bucs have the same record, since we swept them, we have the tiebreaker. So we automatically win the NFC South. But if we lose another game and the Bucs keep winning, by default, we're going to be out, bro. Because the Saints are not going to win the division. And Carolina, they're looking at a top 10 pick this year again. So they're for sure not going to win nothing. So they're not going to win nothing. So it's just between us and the Bucs. we got to take advantage of these next couple of games. You look at our schedule. I'm looking at the only team I look at as a threat because they're trying to play for a playoff berth is the Commanders. We got the Giants who really want to lose so they can still be a top 3 team to get a quarterback. You got the Raiders who trying to be the number 1 overall pick, so they're not really trying to do nothing. It's so funny that since both of their quarterbacks are out, Gardner Minshew and O'Connell both out, they're starting our old quarterback in Desmond Ridder. He's at quarterback now, and he don't look no good. I see why he went from a starter to big on the couch because he don't look good at all. So we should beat him. We should beat Drew Lock. Drew Lock ain't did shit. So we should be able to beat Drew Lock too. So how I look at it there, bro, we just got to see it through. You just got to pray as a Falcon fan that the Falcons do something. But at the end of the day, bro, Kirk Cousins is not the only issue on the team, bro. Once again, our defense sucks. Our defense sucks. We still can't get no pressure on the quarterback. And anytime that guys don't know how to collapse on the quarterback and make play, everybody arm tackling. Every time you see niggas arm tackling all day, what you expect, bro? Everybody arm tackling, bro. Everybody missing their assignment. Nobody's guarding their man correctly. Like, come on, bro. Like, it just looked terrible out there the whole night for the Atlanta Falcons, bro. And once again, we do have a quarterback problem. I was wrong about that, but I'm always gonna be right about our GM. Our GM is not good, bro. Besides Kyle Pitts, besides Drake London, and besides Bijan Robinson, what has he done? Give me an offensive guy besides Jesse Bates, who he signed. He didn't draft him. He signed him, which is cool. He's the only guy that we can look at and say, okay, Terry Fontenot did something right there. That was a good pickup. Besides that, it's nothing. It's nothing. He has nothing. This year we drafted a D tackle and a lineman in the 2nd and 3rd round, and none of those guys have been good. None of those guys. We drafted 2 defensive guys in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round after we got Penix in the 1st. And none of those guys, I have not heard none of those guys' names in no games. This guy, Terry Fontenot, is terrible at picking up defensive guys. He's terrible in the later rounds of drafts. He's terrible. You don't know. You can't name nobody in the later draft that the Falcons have grabbed that you can say, okay, that's legit. He's straight. Besides Tyler Algier, who's a running back, that's the only dude that the Falcons got in the later round that's been a steal, and that's been somebody that's impacted the team in a positive way. Besides that, nobody else, bro. And then you can't even really give him the Kyle Pitts, Drake London now, because all those guys were projected being top 10 picks anyway. Those guys were already the best at their position anyway. So it was a no-brainer. You really have to go scout them out to pick them. You knew they was legit and good. But when you got to go in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round, you really got to actually go scout dudes that fit the program and fit the system that you're trying to run in Atlanta. Then that really shows if you're a good GM or a good scout or not. And Terry Fontenot right now, if I had to grade him, he's a D. He's a D minus, bro. He's been terrible. He's been terrible, bro. Once again, you had Trey Hendricks. You could have grabbed him. You didn't do that. You literally had Trey Hendricks. When you got Trey Hendricks sitting right there, he's mad because Cincinnati don't want to pay him. You go grab him. You gave a 3rd round 2025 pick to the Patriots to get Matthew Judon, but you could have kept your 3rd round pick, and you could have either traded your 2nd or 1st, because Cincinnati would have took a 2nd or 3rd for Trey Hendricks, because they didn't see him having this season like that. I guarantee you the reason why Cincinnati ain't paid Trey Hendricks, 1, because they couldn't afford him, and 2, they probably felt like, dang, he probably won't have the same stats that he did this year. He getting older, father time. Who leads the league in sacks? Trey Hendricks. So at the end of the day, as a Falcon fan, when he was mad this offseason, you should have been like, it's Terry Fontenot. You should have called Cincinnati and Mark Brown and say, hey, first I would have said, hey, I got a 2nd round 2025 and a 3rd round 2025. What's up? If they would have said, no, thank you, you know what I hit him with? You know what I hit him with again? Okay, I'll give you the 1st round and the 3rd. What's up? They would have took that, bro. They would have took a 1st round pick and a 3rd round pick with Trey Hendricks, and we should have did that, bro. We should have did that, and we didn't do that, bro. And I feel like he would benefit this D-line tremendously, bro. He would benefit this D-line tremendously because, once again, when your best D-lineman is Grady Jarrett and he's barely giving you production, that says something, bro. All our best linemen be old dudes. All these dudes that we draft, bro, have been bust at the position. They have been disappointments, bro. They have underachieved. We keep getting these guys for our defensive for the defensive side, and they haven't done nothing, bro. So at the end of the day, you got to Kirk play bad again, but at the end of the day, you got to keep it rolling with him because you're paying him so much money. And the D-line has to step up. The D-line has to step up. That secondary has to step up. Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, where you at? Y'all have to show up. If you're not gonna show up, then what you expect? What you expect to happen? You're gonna keep getting beat. You're gonna keep getting embarrassed.
Yeah.
You're from 6-3, now you're 6-7. You haven't won a game in a whole month. You haven't won a game in a month. So at the end of the day, bro, we can point the fingers who we want to point to. The whole team overall got to step up. Kirk got to step up. D-line got to step up. Secondary got to step up. And Terry Fontenot got to step up, bro. Because to me, bro, I'm concluding that you got to fire Terry Fontenot at the end of this season. Because at the end of the day, you could have got Bill Belichick. And you said, fuck Bill Belichick. And now Bill Belichick finna go to college. One thing about Bill Belichick, he can't get the offensive pieces right. But see, him and Terry Fontenot they would match together. They would mush together because one thing Bill can do, they could work together, bro. Because Bill, he know how to pick defensive guys. Now, he's not good on the offensive side, but Terry would have handled that side because Terry is good finding offensive dudes, but he's not good at finding defensive dudes, bro. And I think with Bill mindset and Terry mindset, they both know talent because they both understand the side of the ball that they like. Terry Fontenot, you can tell he's more of an offensive-minded GM. He's not a defensive-minded GM. He's a more of an offensive-minded GM. Bill is a more defensive-minded head coach and a defensive-minded GM. They could have combined and meshed together, and our defense would have been way better, and our offense would be way better. I think if Kirk Cousins played with Bill Belichick, they wouldn't be asking Kirk to do as much as they want him to do. I think we'll run the ball more with Bijan and Algier. It'll be a running back by committee, but Bijan will be more to the LeGarrette Blount. How LeGarrette Blount was with the Patriots. Well, he's the lead back, but you still got James White and Rex Burkhead back there too. And both of them, combine them, that's Taylor Algier. So you could have still worked that out, in my opinion, bro. But nah, you said, fuck it. We don't want to do that. That's going to bring Raheem Morris in, two brothers. And Raheem, I like him, bro. But Raheem, to me, bro, he's a defensive guy. But when you go look at the teams that he's coached on the defensive side, they always been a middle of the pack defense. Now, he is a good leader and a good motivator. He's a good motivator. But at the end of the day, when you look at his receipts of how he coaches as a defensive coordinator, his defense always been middle of the pack, bro. It's not really nothing you can expect. Bill Belichick and them, they were terrible last year, but Patriots were still number one in rush defense. The Patriots were still number one in rush defense, bro. And they was a top team when it comes to passing too. So they weren't like they was a terrible team in passing. They just couldn't get the offense figured out. And they was being in bad field position. So you should have got, but they didn't do that. So once again, Kirk playing bad. Secondary need to step up. D-line need to step up. That left side of the O-line need to step up. But Terry Fontenot need to step up. The Falcons, y'all got the Giants next game. I think y'all can do something. Let that be start of a 3 or 4 game winning streak. Let that game be the mark of, okay, let's close this season out strong. If not, then once again, like I told y'all, we're not making the playoffs. That's even better. They're saying with Desmond Ridder. You gonna let Desmond Ridder have a revenge game on y'all? Come on, he a third. Come on.
They might, because the Raiders went toe-to-toe with Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm like, fuck.
Because the Raiders defense good. The Raiders got a good defense. But I think the quarterback gonna play them out the game, bro. That's why they've been losing. The quarterback been playing them out the game.
I hope they don't make this man look like he Tom Brady or a subpar Geno Smith. Like, like I can't take that. Like we can compete with these teams, but at the same time, because at the beginning of the Vikings game, it was like back and forth, okay. Until it was 21-21. Kirk throws interception. Well, no. Yeah, it was an interception. Then it was a punt return fumble, which gave Vikings a good field position. We went up with from 28 to 34. And after that, it just went downhill with another interception. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Nah, Kirk threw an interception at the beginning of the game, bro.
Oh, I know that. I'm talking about like after that, where it was like back and forth.
He threw an interception when we was up 3-0 because we kicked the field goal. We know we was up 7-0. It was 7-0. He scored. He threw the pick. They went down. They scored. Then he threw another pick when it was 28, when it was 30, no, it was 35, 21. He threw another pick, and Buddy picked it off with one hand. Like Kirk, like I said, Kirk got to play better. But at the end of the day, that D line got to play better too, bro. They weren't getting no hats on that Darnold, bro. Darnold had his best game of the season.
Have 2 receivers and 100+ yards and less receptions. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like they already talked about staying another minute free agent and whatnot, but we making his case more greater. Like what? That's supposed to be Kirk's homecoming game. They treated his ass like he was nothing. Fuck you. Give me that pick. Give me that pick. And we're gonna make your special teams fumble. Give me that. And we're gonna come back to score. Give me that. Like God. And I knew Vikings was gonna do that. But I didn't think we were going to be sticking with him like that, bro. But now, it's like we got a Monday night primetime game. Like, Monday night football game, Desmond Ridder start. How poetic is that Desmond Ridder's going to start against us?
We should. Like I say, we should win, but we don't. Then that just Kirk. Like it is to me, it's either going to be the D-line or Kirk keep throwing interceptions. So hopefully, hopefully Kirk can come have a decent game. I don't need Kirk throwing the ball too much. Let's run the ball more. Let's do more play action. Let's get Kyle. Let's find ways to get Kyle Pitts some ball. If that screens, if that's just him just running, doing a hitch route, if that's just him just running 5 yards and just looking back at Kirk Cousins, he just throw it to him. Like we just need to find our best play, give our best player the balls. Okay, put Drake London on a 5-yard slant and just give him the ball. Like do a screen. Like get these guys moving, bro. You got to get these guys going. Get these guys involved early so you won't hear nothing from them, bro. But you got to get our guys going early, bro. Only person you getting going is Algier and Bijan. Algier and Bijan, they doing their thing. Everybody else got to do their thing, bro. After that, they should be straight.
Open, and he don't throw it to him. I don't see a couple plays like I was looking at they go copy his open. He go Kirk.
Yeah, he throwing it to him. He overthrowing it.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah, he tripping.